Welcome back to Mindset Monday. Hey, this is the show where we get to bring Chris Slavin on, eight-figure entrepreneur, huge donor to so many causes, constantly making the world a better place. And today he's got a very special message for everyone that's here. If you stick around on this, not only can you get inside of Chris's head by asking questions that you have, but he's also going to unlock what special project he's working on next. So sit back, buckle up, let's listen on in. Bruce, let's bring Chris up.
And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Presenting the master of the real estate deal and entrepreneur champion of the world, Chris, the negotiator Levin.
I still love that, but I think I'm going to replace it with my granddaughter and her family bringing that up. So listen, I want to talk about something with you here. It's called Move First, and then the how shows up in the motion. Thanks for being here and joining me on Mindset Monday. Today we're going to talk about the power of moving before you're ready, right? You hear this all the time, ready, shoot, aim. Or ready, shoot, ready, fire, aim. I'm sure you've seen it, but recently, devastating earthquake hit Colombia. Listen, homes were destroyed and families, everybody was like displaced, no place to go. They can't handle what's going on down there. When people see something like that, three thoughts occur and they hit in a sequence: sadness, helplessness, then a version of, I wish I could help, but I don't know how. That's the moment when most of us stop. I don't know why. Maybe it's an excuse. Maybe it's just, I don't know, the helplessness. Maybe the problem feels too big. The situation is too far away. There's nothing we can do about it. So the desire to do something goes away. I want to tell you what Nate and our team did the moment that he heard this. For Nate especially, this wasn't distant news. His wife, Jennifer, is Colombian. When the ground shook in Colombia, something shook inside of him. We could have posted about it, right? We've got a social media influence. We could have donated privately. We could have sent thoughts and prayers and moved on with the day. No. Instead, we moved. We took action. Within days, we launched DePie. In Spanish, that means stand up. And for every $500,000 an investor puts into a real estate deal with us, we take our fee, any of the money the company would have kept, and we use it to build a home for a Colombian family that's lost theirs. Every $500,000 donation creates a home in Colombia. Now, to be clear, we didn't have that structure when the earthquake hit. Literally, this wasn't even a dot on the horizon. The structure came after we took action. We had our team, our business, and a cause that was near and dear to our heart, and that was it. The campaign, the model, the support for Colombians, all of it fell into place because we moved. We were going in a direction. Because we took action, in less than a week, we had an entire campaign ready to go live, an entire website, and a branding package done, and we are bringing people the help because they're inspired by the mission. Everybody who sees what we're doing is inspired by it. They're jumping on board. That's the power of taking action before you have everything figured out. Listen, if we had waited until we knew exactly how it would work, DePie wouldn't exist, right? And while I'm sharing this about a specific situation, this shows up in everyday life. The how almost never shows up before we move. Not only that, so many times people want to be perfectly ready and have every I dotted and T crossed before they take action. I see it all the time in our academy with students. We tell them, pick up the phone, start calling brokers, start calling property owners. And it's like they have to have every question answered and every I dotted and T crossed before they move on. The how almost never shows up before you move, man. You got to pick up that phone and make that phone call, start the conversation. And then the how is revealed as you put yourself into that motion. Before you're ready, before you have the perfect plan, before you have motivation and momentum. So the next time you have an idea or an insight, whether you're in a prayer or on a walk, don't wait for clarity to reveal itself. Start moving. Take action. Action comes first. Clarity shows up along the way. Listen, this is what I'm trying to teach you. Clarity doesn't come first. The motion does. Even in Scripture, right? In uh, even in Scripture, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. That's Ecclesiastes 11:4. Sit around watching things happen, nothing happens. None of us need more insight. We need more movement. Identify something in your life you've been waiting to start. Then ask, what is the smallest step I can take today to get this thing moving? And I want you to make that step. Even if it's small, even if it feels pointless. It isn't. It's action. That small step is the momentum that will keep you going. Do not stop today. Lock onto an idea, move forward, and make it happen. Me personally, let me tell you about something. So back in, I think it's right around 2000, I started a company, and the original purpose of that company was to write credit decisioning software in the RV industry to primary customer was Deutsche Bank, and secondary was Bank of Boston. That whole concept morphed into a business that went into insurance products. Because as we did that, right, and we started making money, we started seeing a niche in the market that wasn't being fulfilled. That was gap lending and laser etching in the RV industry. Took that business and we made a killing. I ended up selling that business for a stupid amount of money a couple of years later. But it didn't start that way. It started as a credit decisioning software for the RV industry. So remember, take action, move in the direction, and let the how reveal itself as you walk along the path. You know, this may be contradictory to some of the things you've heard, but it's what's been my success over and over again. I act quickly, and in business, you're going to find that people that act quickly and act first reap the biggest rewards. It isn't perfect all the time, but I'm here to tell you that I'm right 90% of the time, where if you were to process everything and work out every little I dotted and T crossed, you might be right 95% of the time. But I'm here to tell you that I move on more things, and at the end of the day, my value rises as a result of moving on that 90% of a lot more things, rather than sitting back and executing on two things, because I have to have 100% of the plan laid out before I move. Remember that. Take action. Motion brings you the how. Thank you all for listening.
Beautiful, Chris. You got time for some questions?
Hit me, baby.
All right, guys, this is your shot. Put your questions in the chat. I will just read the question. I won't read your name. That way we'll keep it anonymous. If you got something going through your brain, feel free, type it inside the comment or the question box right now. Okay, Chris, first one. How do I overcome the fear of making a costly mistake?
How do I overcome the fear of making a costly mistake? You know, that's a valid question. One of the things that I say all the time, and I'm pretty sure it applies here as well, is if I pray about something and God leads me down the path, it's the path that He wants me to be on. So I move forward. Sometimes something that costs you a few dollars is worth millions in experience and knowledge. Some of the mistakes that I made early on in my business life, today I'm benefiting from in ways that you just can't even imagine, because I've been down that road before at a smaller dollar amount. Now the dollar amounts that I play with are a little bit larger. So I don't make the same mistake twice. And what could be costly, large dollar amount to you today may be a speck on the horizon for you tomorrow. So seek God's will, do what He tells you to do, and walk down the path. And remember, not everything is a loss. Sometimes it's a lesson.
Oh, that's good. Not everything's a loss. Sometimes it's a lesson. Next one. What is your advice if the person's financially broke, not even having a credit card to start something?
What's my advice?
Yeah, what's your advice?
If you've got nothing in your pocket,
In your pocket, no credit.
yeah, go do something, right? And I know that sounds a little arrogant and flippant, but today, today you could listen. Let's take me, reset me. Like, I've got nothing for whatever reason. I've got nothing. I just got reset. Nothing. I would literally. Oh, it would be so easy, man. My days would be so. I would have time to rest and. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I would literally get on the internet, start learning about AI tools, and create some product, some service, something to start a little, like, just I need a little spark to start a flame, to build a fire, right? All I need is a little ammunition in my gun belt, and I will get things started. So I would literally start with some kind of AI tool, sell it as a service, build a little nest egg, and start from there to build momentum. I would then take every dollar that I had and invest it in myself, in education or learning or something to boost me up, learn about real estate and how to do real estate investing. You know, my first real estate deal in the multifamily space, I didn't use not a penny of my own money. I swore to my wife we wouldn't do it. And on my first transaction, I made $467,000 at closing. Took me about 6 months to go from learning everything I needed to know to make that first deal happen. I made $467,000. I think if you went from nothing to enough money to invest in some kind of training in 6 months, did that training, and then 6 months later you did a transaction for $467,000, I think that you would have considered yourself doing very well. Now, I have to say this. I am not a typical person. Those results are not typical. But the difference is I executed, did what I was supposed to do, and made it happen. Doesn't happen to everybody. That's my experience. That's what happened to me.
Chris, your next one. I've been taking action and I'm submitting LOIs.
Yep.
Now I have a meeting with brokers.
Yay.
Today,
Yes.
but I feel unprepared. Should I slow down and get more prepared?
No. We just talked about this today. No. You should move forward. How reveals yourself in the motion. Listen, one thing just have in your back pocket, right? Hey, listen, I'm a new kid on the block. I'm a new kid on the team. I don't have the answer for you, but I'll get with my senior guys and get back to you ASAP. I'll get back to you by 2 o'clock tomorrow. Is that good for you, Joe? All right, cool. That's what you do.
Okay, keep moving forward no matter what.
No matter what.
Next one. If we have many good opportunities coming, but limited time and resources, what values do you use for directing besides financial risk and return to make sure you're going in the right direction?
Time and impact, right? So where does my time have the most impact in the world in a positive way? Yeah, time and impact. That's what you do. And then if I see that if I invest this much time in this project, I have this much impact in the world. If I invest this much time in my job, I have this much in my checking account. Now I need enough to be able to survive on, right? So I got to do that while I'm transitioning to relying on myself. So I try to find that balance. I got to put just enough in to make sure my bills and stuff are getting paid. But then at the same time, I start looking at where the impact comes from. Because for me, at the end of the day, impact on the world is the most important thing. So that's what I'm always driving towards. Impact on the world, impact in the world, impact in people's lives. How can I make this world a better place? As a result, for me, the money takes care of itself.
Beautiful. Chris, you got a comment here. On Friday, I spoke with someone who had essentially everything to get started, but they did not have someone to get a loan for them. They've got a property without the loan, and I was reminded how lucky I am to have Home Invest as a partner. Thank you so much. It's motivated me to keep going.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you very kindly. See, that warms my heart because knowing that you have a way to move your success down the road as a result of a relationship with us is exactly why I do this.
Chris, last one for today, and then I'll let you wrap over you'd like. This one is the real estate market for home values seems to be crashing. Is now a good time to invest, or is it better to wait?
Listen, I don't invest in home values for a number of reasons. One is the unpredictability, and you're kind of at the mercy of so many outside circumstances. With multifamily, it's less true. With single family, the value of a house is based on what an appraiser and an appraisal thinks of that house. The value of multifamily, there's some influence from an appraiser, but the majority of the value of that property is based strictly on numbers. What are you getting for rent? What are your expenses? And what are you left over with? That determines the value of your building. So if you're going to invest, I would ask that you consider investing in something that's a little bit safer and less susceptible to market fluctuations. That would be multifamily. Because with multifamily, you still get all the benefits of a single family residence. You get the accelerated and bonus depreciation in the 27.5 year linear depreciation model, but it's safer, less influenced by outside influences, and that's where I invest all of my money. I keep very little liquid, and everything that I have is tied up in real estate for the most part. I mean, I maintain some liquidity, but my investments are not sitting in an IRA. I got a very small amount in the market, and that's for me to play, but the rest is in real estate because most wealthy, genuinely wealthy people have a base in real estate. It's just the smart thing to do for generations, has been for generations, and will be for generations. Like the old saying goes, they ain't making more dirt. And so every piece of it is going up in value. With that being said, I'd like to just tell you guys that I know one thing for a fact. I get on my knees every morning and I seek God's will for my life. And as a result, He blesses me over and over and over again with so many things. And most of them are on the inside. Now, don't let me fool you. He allows me lots of indulgences on the outside. But on the inside, He's blessed me with some amazing things. I have peace. I have joy. I have faith. I have strength. I have courage. That's all because of the relationship that I carved out with Him, because He's always there waiting. And He loves me no more than He loves you. And He loves you no more than He loves me. And if He's willing to do that for me, imagine what He'll do for you. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. See you next week.